Alright, what is up everybody? My name is Benjamin Keppler. This is Ben Yaconis, Jordan Kuruc, and back with us here is Lou Bertha from Denver. This is the Wombo Combo Show. Alright guys, well hey, let's get started. We don't have a lot of announcements this week like we've had the last couple. Let's get started on our first topic we wanted to go over today because there is a ton and we don't got a ton of time for it.
I'm out of the loop, so
we're gonna be in, man. We're gonna bring you back in. That's what this podcast is for, brother. First injury we want to talk about. Obviously, this is something that everybody knows about. Tua. Tua is down. They put him on IR. They're giving him, that 4 weeks for him to go and see other neurologists and stuff like that. Get a good opinion.
He's close to dead.
Yeah, I think that we have all come to the conclusion last week, at least. Lou, I know you weren't here, but we don't think Tua should play ever again.
Ever again.
On a
personal
notice
for a human.
Yeah. Like he's a dad, and a husband. So yeah, Tua, he's gonna be out. Looks like the Miami Dolphins have went and picked up Snoop.
Henderson.
No, they call him Snoop. That's his nickname. Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, so Tyler Huntley will be being added to that roster.
They got Skylar Thompson.
And they got Skylar Thompson starting. I don't believe that Skylar Thompson keeps the job.
He sucks.
Yeah, I don't think he keeps the job. Snoop doesn't have a big arm, but he has a better brain for football, I think. What do you guys think?
I agree.
You think that he steals the job?
He's a game manager.
Yeah. He's a game manager.
Which is not bad.
Yeah, exactly. Now, is his record that great as a starter? No.
Hey, he was a Pro Bowler.
Was he a Pro Bowler?
He was a Pro Bowler, yeah, because he got voted in by the fans. Anyways, moving on, I did want to give one last thing. We gave you last week on our podcast a take that we thought that the Miami Dolphins should give the Pittsburgh Steelers a call. You guys remember doing that?
Yeah, we sure did.
We
sure did.
And wouldn't you know, folks, that right afterwards, ESPN decided to drop that tape.
Breaking news here.
Pretty curious that we started that, and then, Anyways, we'll move on from Tua, guys, because there's a lot more. Wide receivers, we got crushed this week. Cooper Kupp looks like he's going to be out for an extended period of time with an ankle, I believe it is.
Ankle injury.
We have Debo. I'm not sure what his injury is, but I know that he's going to be out for an extended period of time.
I think it's a calf.
Right up there by Red. Scroll all the way back up for me.
Yeah, it's a strained calf.
Strained calf, yeah. So that's going to be a problem. I think that's the same thing that T. Higgins is dealing with as well. I hate T. Higgins. If you haven't been here for the last 2 podcasts, I drafted T. Higgins to match up with Joe Burrow, and it was a terrible idea. Anyways, moving on to the next person, A.J. Brown. We've seen how his absence affected the Eagles last night. They obviously had to go to that Covey guy a lot of times.
Smith looked good.
Smith did look good. I will give it last night on our Facebook page. Lou did call out that Smith was going to have a really good night, and we were going to see a lot of tush pushes. Both of those things did happen. So
but I'd also say Kyle Pitts would score a touchdown.
I was going to leave it out. I was just going to give him credit. But, I mean, is what it is.
I'll let it.
But, yeah, A.J. Brown out. Looks like it's going to be for a little while as well. Obviously, we got to plan around that, guys. Other people, we've posted about this on social media. Pacheco looks like he's going to be out for a while.
That's ruining my fantasy.
Yes, Pacheco is going to be out for a while. Doesn't look like there's a lot of good options to replace him on the Chiefs roster, but we're going to cover that a little bit later. We'll let you know what we think you should do in that situation. Justin Jefferson did get injured, left in the third quarter. He announced after the game that he is not seriously injured and he should be back for the next week. So one superstar is saved out of all of them. St. Brown. That injury, it's like, what's going on? Dan Campbell's giving really mixed signals. He's kind of playing like the Pittsburgh Steelers do, giving those coy answers, like not really telling you what's going on. Kind of like hockey teams do.
If he plays, he plays.
Yeah. It seems like he's injured. They said it was due to cramps and he had a contusion of some sort. I don't really know what that all entails. However, something to monitor. Looks like he should be playing and we'll take light practices this week. Make sure you're paying attention to our Facebook page and our Twitter. We're going to announce everything on that and make sure that you guys are up to date.
But with that, he's not going to be 100%. So
even that, yeah. But he's a a hard player.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to play through
Oh,
that
yeah,
injury.
he is.
You can still expect him maybe to be 75% of his normal target share and normal points if he does play. Moving on to the next person, you guys let me know before the show, Jordan did. Looks like Jake Ferguson is recovering, so we're going to be able to plug him back in. Looks like the Cowboys need him because they can't beat the Saints. I mean, they beat the Browns, but that's nothing. The Saints destroyed them at home this week, and their offense was non-existent.
Their defense was non-existent.
The whole team didn't
whole
show
team
up.
didn't show up.
The whole team didn't show up.
Freedom, boys.
That Cowboys
boys.
defense, they talk up all the time that this got exposed. Like, maybe the Saints, maybe they're that team.
They never left.
They might be that team.
They could be. To be completely honest, did you
They
think
got a
that you would
strong
see
line.
Derek Carr in the Dallas Stadium
Tearing
grabbing the
them
jump?
Yeah,
You know,
they're
like
wrong.
I mean, when we did if you guys watched last week's episode, which is available on YouTube, if you missed it, go give us a follow. Check out that video. We cover every single game of the week, and last week none of us took the Saints. None of us.
Yeah, no, we.
So that was a surprise. Go Saints! I'm really loving it. I don't mind that they're winning. Jordan had asked me earlier in the week, what team do we not talk about that we think is pretty good? It might be the Saints.
I
think it is.
It might be the Saints.
Might be the real deal.
Yeah.
Might be the real deal.
Another player that's kind of up in the air. He didn't play last week. I know he's on all your fantasy teams. He's a big producer last year. Hasn't done much this year. Keenan Allen. I know you're not a
I
Keenan.
hate Keenan.
This is a not Keenan Allen fan. They're both bald. They both share the same facial
he's
hair.
made of
They hate
glass.
each other.
He's made of glass.
But yeah, he's up in the air right now. It really looks like the Bears could use him. Caleb Williams, terrible performances so far.
Yeah.
I am very,
I didn't
very,
catch
very.
it. I only called
You see
one
him
game.
rolling his eyes here, folks, because he's our residential Bears
Bears
fan.
fan.
I don't know if it's actually this all Williams.
I
That line-
think it's a lot of
The line
Williams.
looks
That
bad.
line is not
The
looking
line
good.
looks really bad.
The
I don't
line's
know.
bad. I mean, plus just he's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chat, let us know in the comments.
looks like-
What do you think? Is the Bears' problem just them being the Bears? Is it Caleb Williams? Does he need help with better offensive line play and better play out of his playmakers? Let us know in the chat. We'll bring your comments on screen if we possibly can. If you guys let us know.
They should have traded that pick for more picks.
That will haunt. Hey, at least the Panthers will be the one. That's
A big one we didn't bring up in the injury report. Evan Ingram from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
Who was
yeah.
actually- He's a big part of that offense, and people don't realize that. But like he took off. I mean, Lawrence likes him as a target.
Lawrence
and
sucks though.
without him, you can kind of see the Jaguars struggle a bit.
They
like,
did struggle
'cause
more.
They do have that
fantasy
nice
team.
check down guy.
Mhm, he is, and
And
he-
without him in the lineup, that is
He's a
problem.
reliable catcher too, Jordan.
Yes, yes.
He is hands. Did you have anybody else that I didn't miss? Because I don't want anybody to miss out on any other injuries.
Taysom Hill had a chest. He left the game with a chest injury.
He did. You know how Taysom Hill is, though.
in that
He's a
Saints
warrior.
Cowboys game. Yeah, he's probably
I
gonna
think he's
play.
fine.
He's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
He'll show up in
Yeah.
a sling and
So-
play in that game.
Yeah.
So
He's one of those dudes. He'll be like the ones like back in high school, the kids used to put the casts on. Yeah, like the pillow.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
that's Taysom Hill.
he'll have the
That's
other
Taysom
team
Hill
signing
right
his
there.
cast and playing. We all know how
Yeah.
Taysom Hill is.
So
Did we have anyone else, guys? I really wanted to make sure that we got everybody. Jordan Addison was another player that was on the list for this week. He didn't play last week. Bad ankle injury. Looks like he's recovering. It's the opposite ankle of the one that he injured in preseason. So hopefully he's getting recovered. Man, we really need some wide receivers in
I'll
our
tell
fantasy
you
league.
a wide receiver who looked fire that probably no one watched.
Hold that thought, because we're going to have some fire takes coming up here in a minute, Lewis.
Also, Rashid White.
Rashid White, yeah.
He
He got hurt.
yeah. So if you have Bucky Irving,
What's it looking like? What did they say is wrong with him, Jordan?
it's a groin injury.
He's got a groin injury. Okay, that's pretty big for a running back. If that's something that's lingering into next week, you could see more out of Bucky Irving, so make sure you write that down. Bucky Irving could be a player that gets a lot more snaps, at least, potential for play.
We'll see though. It's got to be probably questionable.
yeah, I
but
mean, it says it's a minor groin injury.
They
but
play
it's
the
still a
Denver
soft
Broncos,
tissue.
don't they?
it's still. I mean, it's still a leg injury.
They play Denver.
I think
which
they play
is
Denver.
And the Steelers just beat Denver, so I think they'll be okay if they were to sit him.
Or Denver.
You know what I mean? Just keep an eye on that. That's kind of like St. Brown. We're not really 100% sure what's going on, But it's something that Saturday you're going to want
They
to
played
recheck.
They played Denver.
They play Denver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon.
Make sure Saturday you're checking after they're done with
That's
practices
still
because
me
they
if
play
he's
on
hurt.
Sunday. Make sure you're looking at your lineup. See what they say on the latest report. We're going to try on our social media pages. Give us a follow on Twitter and on our Facebook page at the Wombo Combo SH. Give us a follow. We'll keep you updated too. So if you miss it, we'll put the notifications on. We'll get it to you.
Joe Mixon as well, big one.
Oh yeah, Joe Mixon left the game. He did come back.
For like one play, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't seem like he
Yeah.
was doing that much. Same thing with the backup running back for the Jaguars, who I took as one of my hot takes.
Tank
Tank
Bigsby.
Bigsby as well. He left. He did come back. They did not play him at all on offense. I believe he went on special teams again, but did not return to the offensive sets. So, looking down for him, he doesn't look very good. Etienne did look a little bit better. So pay attention to that. Bucky Irving could be a potential play because of injury. We're not 100% sure. Pay attention to St. Brown as well. Not sure. Keenan Allen as well. Moving on to the next thing, guys. It's not an injury, but he's out. Bryce Young has been benched.
For the Red Rifle. Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton.
2 weeks
Horrible.
ago.
Now, last year, Bryce Young got hurt. Do you remember?
Yes.
And Andy Dalton came in for, I
Yes.
believe, 3 games.
Yes.
And was great.
He was great.
He was
Way
great.
better
He
than
seriously
Bryce.
was. He seriously was.
Way better than
I don't know what
I
his
don't
stat
remember.
lines
I
were.
don't remember how he did.
Maybe if I could get the stat
I
lines
don't remember
up,
Andy
I'll
Dalton.
pull those up. But I wanted to talk to you guys about what we should expect out of Panthers now as opposed to what we've seen through the first 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks to bench your number 1 overall pick quarterback is a big deal. First, I guess let's start with, was the problem in the Panthers organization Bryce Young?
Yeah, to some degree.
Yeah.
I think they raised their ceiling from like an 0-17 team to like a 3-14 team.
You know, before they traded for him, they were actually like I believe an 8 or 7-9 team or an 8-9 team. They almost made the Panthers when they
gave
were
away
running
DJ
Foreman
Moore.
and Chuba Hubbard just
Oh,
constantly.
yeah.
And now
Now they're horrible.
So you think Bryce Young
He's
was?
horrible.
Is he the only problem?
He's not the only problem, but he is for a first overall pick. He is. He's kind of dog
Yeah,
shit.
he's trash.
He's kind of dog shit.
Yeah.
He's no CJ Stroud.
The
You
thing
know what I
with
mean? Like the same.
He's not CJ
same-
Stroud by any
Yeah.
stretch of the imagination. Now, in that only defense to that, and there is only a small defense to that, is that Stroud has had
A better team. He does have a
A
better
lot
team.
better
He
team.
definitely has a better team.
The new coach.
Probably a better coach.
Yeah, the new coach at the Panthers this year is the offensive coordinator from the Jags over the last 2 years. Don't know his name off the top of my
I
head.
don't remember it off the top of my head either.
But he's a younger guy, and he's the one who made the executive decision. He said he was doing what was best for the team. He said it was a hard decision to make. Jordan, I wanted to ask you
Thought
if
he
you
was
don't mind.
the OC for the.
He was OC for the Jaguars.
No,
David,
Buccaneers, because
David
he worked with
Canales?
Baker.
Buccaneers, I've got the Florida teams mixed up.
Yeah, no,
you are right.
he worked with
Canales.
Baker last
Yeah,
year.
Canales. Yeah, I apologize, guys.
Yeah.
That's why Ben's here to correct me on all my wrong. Jordan, do you think that Bryce Young is the problem in the Panthers organization? Do you think it's bad general management? Do you think it's bad ownership with Tepper? Do you think it's a combination? Or do you really think that putting Andy Dalton in, we might see 1 or 2 more wins than we would have?
There's multiple problems with that team. I do think Bryce Young. The thing with Bryce Young is like compared to like his other contemporaries, like you say like size wise, you got like the Kyler Murray thing
He's small.
because you're like, oh well, he's short. Well, Kyler Murray still plays high level football, but he's
Short king.
but he is explosive. Like you see him, he uses that speed. Bryce Young doesn't have the same speed as Kyler
No,
Murray.
he
does.
scared.
Even like a Baker Mayfield, smaller guy, but he's still
He has a
like
cannon.
stuff.
but he has a cannon
He has a
arm.
cannon
Bryce
arm.
Young doesn't have a cannon arm, nor does he have the scrambling ability of Kyler Murray. And then the big thing with Bryce Young is like they talk about like his football intelligence being very, very high. But yet you watch those Panthers games and it's like this guy's scared for his life out there. Like he can't make the reads, he can't pick up anything up, and it's just like I just don't think the kid should have sat. I don't think he should have been.
You think
thrown
he
in.
should have marinated before the
Yeah.
start? Andy Dalton should have. I can actually agree with that.
I can
They
see
could have given him more.
I can see.
Yeah.
I can honestly
Do
see.
the Jordan Love thing.
So,
Yeah,
but
well,
now-
maybe.
Now
maybe.
they
Kinda.
dude,
Kinda.
even Mahomes sat for a year.
Yeah, even though he's
Yeah,
for a
how
year
many
and a
games
half.
does CJ Stroud sit? 0, correct? He
He
started
started
off
right
started
away.
right
I
away.
just threw him right in.
But he didn't. We didn't know he was good until about
Week.
Midway.
They played the Steelers.
Until he played the Steelers.
Until he played the Steelers.
Until he played the Steelers and he cooked the Steelers.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this guy.
Right.
So Bryce Young,
We do love this team. It's
I
just
don't think
sometimes-
Bryce Young will like be.
sometimes-
I don't
It
think
is
he'll,
good on Sunday.
he'll be in Carolina very long. But I wouldn't. If Bryce Young goes somewhere and sits behind like someone like with experience for maybe like a season or two, I wouldn't be surprised if Bryce Young doesn't turn into like an okay NFL QB, like a guy that could probably win you a couple games if you need him to as a backup. That sucks.
I
for
think
being
he has like a
first-round
Kenny
pick.
Pickett level ceiling.
Well, that's.
You think he's a Kenny Pickett?
I think he's yeah. He's closer to
He's
Kenny.
no-
He's closer to Kenny Pickett than not.
He's clearly not going to Willis, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
First round pick. Ugh.
Ben, you're the last one to give me an answer on this. What is the problem with the Carolina Panthers, and is it Bryce Young or is it more? I didn't get to tell you guys really my take, and I'm going to go last, and I know that they're not going to have the same opinion as me, which is okay. But we're going to get everything out here.
No, I think Bryce Young is a problem. He's not big enough. He's got issues reading defenses, everything.
I
So,
really think
I'm gonna
that.
pull up his stats from last year, actually.
My number one thing, and I think that it was you who brought it up, Lou, is that I think that he looks scared.
Terrified.
He looks like anytime the rush is coming in, you know how Kenny Pickett was always known for rolling to the right?
Yeah.
He's kind of the same thing, except what he does, and you'll notice this a lot in the way that Bryce Young plays, and it's a bad thing to do as a quarterback. Instead of panning to the side and keeping himself open for a throw out, he will turn his whole body towards the sideline. So he is going now completely horizontally. Completely horizontally. And not looking downfield in any way, shape, or form, and he's just being chased by two guys at the same time. Not paying attention. I agree with that. That's a big deal with Bryce Young. And that comes with maybe a little bit of seasoning, but it's been a year and a half now.
Yeah. So, I mean, last year, he only threw for 59.8% of his passes. Completed it, 59.8. 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. QBR 34.1.
He was on my fantasy.
That's
He was on my
horrible.
fantasy team. He was awful.
And
So
he
this-
was
and
hurt
this
3
year-
games, right? Was that right? 3 games? How many games did it say he started? Did it say?
Who? Andy Dalton?
No, Bryce Young.
That he started?
Yeah. If it doesn't have it, it's
It
fine.
says he played 16.
16. Okay, so he didn't play 1 game. I was wrong there too. This is why we have Ben.
Yeah.
But he was really good
It says
in
he
the one
played
game.
16. Andy Dalton only had the 1 start.
Mhm.
But he did good in the 1
I
start.
remember he had like 27.3 points.
He did
I
good.
specifically
He
told
did
one of
good.
my buddies to pick him up and play him, and he beat our other friend Ross, which was a big crybaby show for him. Unfortunately, he was really mad at me. I'm sorry, Ross.
Yeah.
As a commissioner, I apologize.
It's a Robert.
But
It's a Robert Wood situation all over.
anyways, so you think it is a 50-60% his fault?
I
Where
would
they're at?
say I would say closer.
Okay.
75, 80%.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what I think. I think David Tepper's an idiot. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
He's the owner.
Yeah.
But he's also kind of the meddling owner who doesn't
That's
like.
the worst kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like a Jerry Jones situation where he runs everything. He hires somebody to do the stuff and then tells them what to do.
Yeah. Can't have
Well,
that.
you can't
Let
have
them do
that.
their
You need
job.
to let-
Let them do
you
their
can't
job.
You need to let
have
your GM do his job.
Yeah.
You need to let the head coach
Yeah.
do his job.
Another
That's the
thing
whole
is
point of it. There's
Yeah.
a team.
The whole point.
a rotating door of coaches. Okay? What, and I'm going to use the words, it gives the answer. What sets the standard?
Yeah.
Having a
There's no
good,
continuity.
having a good coach and having him stay.
Continuity, I guess.
You know, like, you can't just let him go 1/2 year or 1 year and then go, oh, you've showed us your whole portfolio. You've got to let him build and expand. Kind of like they did with Chip Kelly in Philadelphia. I mean, he was horrible.
Yeah.
He ruined the team, the dream team. But you have to allow guys.
Yeah.
You can't just say, okay, you're
Let
out.
them work their
Next,
system.
you're out.
Yeah.
Next. That's not going to work.
They fired Matt Rule in what? Halfway through his second year?
Yeah. And then the guy for the Colts who came back.
Frank Reich.
Yeah, Frank
Frank
Reich.
Reich,
They
yeah.
got rid of him quickly.
Yeah.
The fellow that they fired.
Ron Rivera?
No, well, they fired Ron Rivera.
They
but-
fired him.
But in
Yeah.
between him, they had a coach who's a defensive coordinator. African American gentleman, big gray mustache. I can't remember his name right now, but he was really good too. And he kept their defense. I don't know if you remember
who that was.
I'll have to look it up in a second. But
I don't remember
anyways,
who that
I
was.
will look it up while I'm talking here. But you can't have that like non-fortitude of having a guy in there who is building a environment, who's building a culture for your team. They don't have that. Have you seen a game?
You need continuity.
Yeah.
You need to have something.
Have you seen one of their games? It's all blue because their seats are blue because no one's there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Watch that.
the seats are like $3.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, I wish I could go to a Steeler game for $3.
Yeah.
Kind of, I guess.
All right. Well, hey, next thing I'll look that up in a second. So yeah, we think. I guess the general
It was
consensus here
Stephen
is
Wilkes.
it was Stephen Wilkes.
Stephen
Yes,
Wilkes.
yes. Thanks.
Carry
God.
the booth.
I was gonna say he was for the Arizona Cardinals too. Yeah, Wilkes. I think Wilkes was the best one that they've had. I think he was the best coach they had. Yeah, Steve Wilkes. Yeah. Anyways.
That was a big Ron Rivera guy.
Well, yeah. Look what he did at the Commanders
I know,
afterwards.
he's awful. I'm being cheeky.
So generally what we're saying is everyone here, I agree with you, thinks that he is a problem.
Yeah.
You know, whether he is not talented, maybe yes, maybe no, we don't know. He wasn't marinated correctly like we said. He didn't sit like he was supposed to. He's really skittish in the pocket. That comes with more time of watching a veteran do these types of things. And
Is Andy Dalton the guy to do it? I don't think he's going to
I
have
mean,
like a
it's not
Joe
like-
Flacco season.
well, yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
either.
But he could be. He
That'd
could
be
be the
something.
guy to teach him.
But I'm glad that he just said that because that's the next thing that on this topic I wanted to bring up with you guys. Moving forward, where do you see improvement on the Carolina Panthers offense? If you're a fantasy football owner out there, all these injuries,
And
are
Dalton.
there any skill players that you see really get a bump because
Not
of that?
really.
I can think of one.
No, I can't.
Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is going to be one of the people I suggest that you stash on your bench now.
He'll still produce.
Yeah,
He's like their tight end,
You
but
can-
playing wide receiver.
You guys couldn't note me down. I'm not high on
I
that.
can
Well,
honestly
we'll
say
see
that.
because last year
You
I'm not
can-
saying he's a
Yeah.
fantasy.
Adam
option.
I get
Thielen
it.
was a top like 15 wide receiver at fantasy points last year. He
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
He was.
You're just an idiot.
Was
Yeah, he was.
Was he 15?
If Andy Dalton
He
can
was
sling the
15
ball,
probably.
if he can get control of the offense and get drives going, I think that's someone you could see an increase in. Is Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
And prior to Adam Thielen, I think the only two people who were on the team who were legitimate ads, maybe Deontay Johnson could get some on my first note.
Yeah,
maybe,
Deontay
but probably
Johnson.
maybe.
Johnson should get a
He
bump.
got a bump.
We're Steelers fans, so we hate Deontay Johnson kind of,
Yeah.
but he might get a little better. Might. I would go Thielen. Anyways, Chuba Hubbard is okay. He's a
Okay,
stash.
he's okay.
He's a stash.
You
You need a
fun of
body
me for
for
having him before.
So
I won the league last year with him. I gotta love him.
until Brooks gets healthy.
Until Brooks gets healthy. That was my other point.
Yeah.
Brooks. If you have Brooks in your IR spot right now, he's probably still a hold. The offensive line looks like they suck, but they've always been good at run. So hopefully that's something that he's
I
able to
honestly
perform.
think that LeGrette might get better.
You look at.
Like
Yeah.
Xavier Leggett, like
Yeah.
since he has like a guy that can,
We
we have yet to see a guy that can beat him the ball though.
Yeah.
So you don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
actually
no.
don't know what talent you have.
Keep him on your watch list.
Yeah, keep him
I
on
wouldn't
watch
add Leggett right now.
No, but keep him on your, well, you didn't draft
I
him.
think a
last
lot of
year,
people
guys,
drafted
because
him.
A lot of people took that
I
guy.
think people drafted him.
Oh well, if he's on your team, I guess keep him for a little while. I'm on Leggett. I can see where he's coming from because he does have AJ Brown potential in mind. But I think
Oh
that
no, he's not. He's 12%.
12%. Okay, 12% of you hold him. The rest of you put him on your watch
He's
list.
12%.
The 88% of you who are sane. Anyways, Thielen, targets are going to increase. I promise you, that's definitely going to happen. Quote me on it next week. If I'm wrong, I will eat it.
I'll put it on there.
He will make sure I eat it.
I'm saying
Believe me.
I'll make sure all the socials.
Oh,
no.
I personally think we're spending way too much time.
I was just thinking that too. I was like, why are we talking about the Panthers?
He loves talking about
These
the
guys are
Panthers.
dog shit.
Why?
I was just thinking that.
Where's this podcast?
Like 10
Bro?
minutes on the Panthers.
What is this going to be, the Panthers show?
This turned for
All
you.
right, next subject.
All right, next subject. Okay. Well, hey, I guess we'll move into who do we think are going to be our fantasy sits and starts for this week. Who wants to start?
I don't have a sit, but I have a start. I'm sure people are starting them. But when I was out in Denver, my dad is from New Jersey. I got stuck watching the goddamn New Jersey Giants. And they are dog shit. If you know who's not dog shit, Malik Neighbors.
He
This
is
dude
good.
fire shit. He was the most electric player on the field.
He
I
was.
watched 60
He
minutes
was.
of the goddamn Giants against the Commanders. It was a horrible game. Malik Neighbors, awesome. Great game. It was so entertaining watching him play.
Yeah, he
With
was
Daniel
good.
Jones throwing it to him.
Yeah, and Daniel Jones had a good
He
fantasy.
had a good, he had
Yeah,
decent
he did.
fantasy.
He honestly did. Which is
Malik Neighbors. That
He did
guy,
better than
he'll be up there.
Malik Neighbors. So you don't have anybody that's
I don't have a sit yet.
not on your teams. Think about it.
Yeah,
Think about it. We'll come back to you. Is there anybody else who wants to go next?
I got some starting sit
Go ahead.
suggestions. Brock Bowers.
Okay.
Started. He's getting target. He's getting what? At least.
That's a
9
double up. You said
targets.
Brock last week.
I did. He's just. I would start him every week. I'm gonna go. Let's see. He got 8 targets week 1, 9 targets week 2. He caught all 9 for 98 yards last.
17 targets for 2 weeks is pretty
So,
dang good.
You know, and my sit is I'm gonna go tight end again. Sit Dalton Kincaid. He's not getting targeted much. They're let's see. They're playing Jacksonville, but he's just not getting. He's not getting that volume of targets. He's gotten. Let's see. 2 week 1, 4 in week 2. Caught all 4, only for 33 yards. But I'd sit him because I feel like Josh Allen favors his wide receivers more. And
He
the
does.
running game is really good too with Cook. So
Okay.
I would sit Dalton Kincaid.
Jordan, would you like to go next, or you want me to go, buddy?
I was just gonna say Dalton Schultz. He's just been underperforming heavily this year. I don't know if there's something up with him, but it's just like he doesn't seem to get looks either. So
Tight end does seem to be really dry right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it always
It
is,
Yeah.
but like, no, I do see where you're coming from. Obviously, he's giving you another option. If he's out there, the Raiders tight end, you can grab him. Another guy that you could always pick up is Likely if he hasn't been snagged yet. He had a bad week. Maybe somebody will drop him. You can pick him up later in the week. He is getting targets. He is eating into Mark Andrews very hard.
He is.
Like,
He is.
very hard. So that's something to keep an eye on. If he's available, which I can actually tell you here that Isaiah Likely only is available in 15% right now. That big week that he had with the toe touch really got him some notoriety. So if he is available, try to give him a snag. Did you have a start?
I have 2 stars.
I got some
I
starts.
feel like this is a toxic.
Not to be a big giant guy, but Devin Singletary looked awesome.
He's on his fantasy team, all right, and you're going to
He
do
did
that all
though.
year.
He looked great.
I'll tell you guys that a couple weeks ago, I made a forecast that we would listen to this man talk about Devin Singletary all
I have him in every
season.
league. Big Devin, 1 Singletary.
And now we're dealing with it. Anyways, Jordan, were you saying something about
Yeah, I was gonna say that I'm gonna go back to the toxic relationship and probably give Calvin Ridley one more shot.
last week?
Last week, I ate my words.
Please
and-
put shame in the chat for this one, folks.
Yeah, but am I that wrong though? Because he does this. Like
We did say that he's up and down.
Yeah,
he is so
he's
up
a
and down.
He's a boomer.
He's a
bust
boomer
wide
bust.
receiver.
He's a boomer bust.
But it was his boom week,
It
brother.
was
Yeah,
boom
yeah,
week.
boom.
It was boom week.
Yeah,
I
boom
just,
week for
I guess
sure.
I gave the New York Jets defense way too much credit.
They pulled out the win, but I really think it was on the running backs who pulled it
To
through.
put you help them out.
You know.
Yeah, it was not the
Um,
defense nor
Tank
the
Dell,
support.
sit him.
yeah, Tank Dell's not doing very well.
Sit
Of all the Texans,
He's definitely the worst of all.
he's
of
the one
them
getting
right
the
now.
least amount of looks. For me, guys, I did want to
He's
say
booming bust.
that last week I told you guys to go grab Demarcus Robinson. He had an okay game. He ended up with the most receiving yards on the team, and I think he only had 50, which is not
Who?
fair. Demarcus Robinson had 50 yards,
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe, and he was the top wide receiver for the week. But now he is the number 1 wide receiver for the
He
week.
is.
So that's somebody that if you are still looking to fill spots, Demarcus Robinson, that's
Yeah.
right up your alley, guys. 42% of teams on Yahoo own him. So you could definitely give him a chance there. He's going to be getting the targets. He last week said Cody Parkinson. He didn't do that good. I played him on his suggestion. He didn't do that great. However, he's got to be getting more targets now that Cooper Kupp is out.
Yes.
It's got to just continue to flow their way. They're the guys who were starting.
So, and could Tutu Atwell have a resurgence?
Yes, Tutu Atwell.
I'm going to say no.
Put him on your watch
He
list.
could.
Put him on your watch list.
list.
Put him on your watch list.
Add him to the watch
Just say
list.
there's
Add
a
him to the watch
chance.
list.
Yeah.
There is a chance. I don't think it's going to happen. But.
Hey, I did have another person that I did want to cover that I think, and this is a homer pick, and I know it's a homer pick, but I really think it's time that he's going to start warming up. I think Jalen Warren is going to be somebody that you can start depending on for a 7-point, 8-point week every single week. I think that is going to be in flux for the rest of the year.
That's how Devin
Bold
Singletary is right now.
We seen in week 1, he had injured his hamstring in preseason. So they gave him a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And not only did they do that, they showcased Najee Harris with 22 rushes. Then what did we see last week? We seen production immediately out of Jalen Warren. When he is on the field, the flag sticks moving.
Yes.
He's a great player. He breaks tackles.
He's a home run threat.
He's a home run threat. That is the correct way to say it. I think that he's somebody to look for, and I want to continue on the running backs because for me in one of my leagues, I'm really hurting. I also wanted to mention that it looked like the Browns guys took Jerome Ford and gave him a lot less time this week. And you know who they played instead?
I don't actually.
Deonta Foreman. I'm a big Deonta Foreman guy. I always pick him up like week 4. He rides out solid for me for like 6 weeks, and I dump him. Deonta Foreman got all of the carries basically last week. He was not as productive though as Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford had I think like 7 rushes. 7 rushes, 64 yards. Whereas Deonta Foreman had like 16 for 48 or something like that. Nothing to write home about.
Jerome Ford's the more explosive player.
He's in the same effect as Najee and Warren are. That would be the same thing, just both are less talented. Another thing that I did want to cover, because we did cover Pacheco getting injured.
Yeah.
It looks like the Chiefs went and signed
Kareem
their old
Hunt.
buddy Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt.
Looks like they're not worried about his morals anymore. Neither are we. I think Kareem Hunt's cool. Whatever.
I think he's past that.
He's past that. We forgive him. Forgive him, forget, you know. But anyways, there's going to be 3 guys in the backfield. I think one of them doesn't play this week. And that is Kareem Hunt, obviously.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt's not going to play.
But he's worth a pickup.
But
Carson still.
we got Samaje Perine and Carson Steele. Samaje Perine, I've already lost $20 this year on from this guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't love him.
Steelers.
But when you're looking at this breakdown, guys, what I'm seeing at least is it looks like they're going to split these 2 running backs into a passer down back, and then Carson Steele is going to be first and second down runner.
I don't know about that.
That's at least what reports were coming out.
He's
But
more
he
of a
was-
pass catcher.
Carson Steele was a preseason hero.
He didn't
in
have a
Kansas
single
City.
target in the game.
I understand this, but
So-
he was a preseason hero for the Chiefs.
Was he?
Yeah.
And that's how he came to the
They
roster.
were raving about him in Kansas City.
So, if you were to take a pick, which one of those 2 would you go with then?
Not Carson Steele.
No?
No.
You go Samaje?
Yeah, I think so.
Samaje owns the record for the most
I
amount of
think
rushing
so.
yards in a college football game, by the way, at Oklahoma.
Only because I've never really
Little,
heard of
little
Carson
tad bit of
Steele.
information for you.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I think that I would agree with him. Samaje probably will end up being the better of the 2, the more productive one for your fantasy team. The way that Andy Reid was talking, though, it sounds like he likes Carson Steele a lot.
See?
It sounds
See?
like he likes Carson Steele a lot.
Because I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take Carson Steele because he's going to get goal line rushes.
I watched the Andy Reid post practice or Monday report or whatever they do today, and he was talking him up. He was like, "Yeah, he's gonna have to fill in this spot." Like they were asking, like, what's gonna go on? He's like, "Hey, he's gonna fill in the spot." This dude's an undrafted running back from UCLA.
I mean, you can get running backs from anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
As
think?
long as they're young and
He's the one who followed up Charbonnet.
quick and explosive.
Mm-hmm.
What is that kid the Jets have right now that had the 2 touchdowns on Sunday?
That was Braylon Allen
Yeah,
from
Braylon
USC.
Allen.
Yeah.
See, exactly. Like, you can just find these kids out of nowhere.
True, but who do you think is going to be the person the Chiefs are going to rely on the most coming up in their next game, though?
I feel like it's got to be Carson Steele.
You think it's going to be Carson Steele?
I mean, even on...
Here we go. This side of the table, Samaje Perine.
Split in half right here, guys. So I guess
I don't know.
both of us.
Past 2 games I watched them. I know I was forced to watch them, but like it's like I saw some plays out of that kid. That's like okay, yeah, like a couple run plays are like pretty solid. Like
He fumbled though.
He did fumble.
Every
He
running
did
back
fumble.
I think that's what's holding me back on him. He
every
fumbled.
running back fumbles. So.
And that
That's a welcome to the league type
Yeah.
of
I
thing.
guess it gives me Melvin Gordon vibes. I don't know.
Hey, Melvin Gordon when he was in his prime, he was one of the best.
Yeah, his prime was
He
like,
was his prime was really
He was pretty good.
Really
It wasn't me the
short.
prime, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like
really
It
short.
wasn't a long
It
prime.
wasn't a long prime, but
it was
did
good.
have it, yeah.
You know what though? I did want to bring up another sit, and this is going to be my big sit. I think Zamir White is not the guy.
No.
Oh, you think
I think
Madison-
Zamir White is done, guys.
Madison is taking
I
over.
think Madison is.
that's
taking
who I was
over.
actually
As
gonna
the
bring
lead
up
back
as
there.
one of my. If you want to keep a watch on someone, well, he might be gone. But I don't know. He had that touchdown on Sunday, and it's like he is like small burst, but he's not getting that much workload just yet. But
You mentioned
I can
him
see-
last week as a
Yep.
watch player.
Yep.
That was a good call.
And I'm like, just keep watching the kid. Get him, honestly. Let him sit there. You don't have to play him, but let him sit there and
here's
see what happens. He's been
here's
2
my only
plays in a
thing.
row. I mean,
He does have 2 tutties. He does have 2 tutties, and it looks like they're using Alexander Madison for some reason as their goal line.
yeah. He's a
I
bigger
thought
guy.
I thought that was the Zamir White job.
Well, he's
Yeah.
I thought he was
Same.
the power guy.
Same.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I
that's not the
agree.
case.
Madison's not
Madison,
small though.
hear me. 4 rushes, 1 yard, 1 touchdown. That was his stat line. I will agree with him though. If they are going to use him in the red zone only, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
If he
they
can-
use Madison as more of a receiver.
Is he a
too.
third down back as well?
Yeah, they give him a lot.
Well, yeah, and
of
now
targets.
let's also say that this was against the Ravens, which is a very hard defense
Yeah.
to play against. So, yeah, add him to your watch list. I think Madison's a good add to the watch list. Guys, who else do we want to talk about this week? I think Matt Stafford is an official drop for you guys. If you're looking at quarterbacks throughout this week, I know there's not a lot of injuries, but I don't think you should be anywhere near Matt Stafford. I did
Well, he
want...
played real bad. I honestly didn't catch any of it. I've been out of town.
It was bad.
I watched the Giants, I watched the Steelers, and I watched the Eagles. That's all I saw.
I did want to...
Okay, no, you were right. He didn't catch a pass.
And
Yeah.
the Dolphins.
No, that's it.
Jeez.
It's weird. I did want to talk about the Justin Fields dilemma. Not maybe
Keep
dilemma.
him. Keep him running.
Do we?
He looked great. That was some good
I know I
old-fashioned
mentioned it
Steeler
a
football.
little at the beginning, but I did want to resurface it.
That was some
Yeah.
good old-fashioned Steeler football. We run the ball.
Steelers fans out
Drive
there,
downfield.
are you confident in what you're seeing
I
in
am.
Justin Fields?
Yes.
I will tell you right now that I think that he knows that he can be better, and that tells me that I'm confident in him.
I agree.
Does that
I
make
agree,
sense?
man.
Yeah,
They're not the best.
No.
but-
I say we keep running them, but I think we got to do what the Ravens did with Lamar Jackson.
Build it around.
Build it around him.
Okay.
Do
Change
some
your
more.
scheme.
Do
We have
some
some
more.
of those
R-
pieces
yeah,
already.
do some
We do have
more
some of
RPO type stuff.
Yeah. I like
You know, let him run around a little
He
bit
looked
more.
great in my opinion.
I will say-
Granted,
Yeah,
he
no.
could look
So,
like, you know,
I will
dog shit,
say
I'd
though
still
that
say he
pass
was
that
great.
that pass got called back on holding on Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
That dart he
That
threw
was-
to
that
George
was-
Pickens
yeah,
was actually
yeah,
pretty
that
sick.
was
I'm not
sick.
gonna lie. That was
You
smart
Put that on
right
the
there.
rope.
I agree. So I think that all of us collectively agree that not only is he the younger, higher potential player, but he's already shown us as very, Steelers fans are pretty rough on him. Like they say Eagles fans are rough, we're even rougher because we're nice rough.
We're the worst fan base when they realize it.
But we collectively think that Justin Fields should be the future for the Pittsburgh Steelers, at least on what's on the team. Now, if we can draft some
Crazy dude.
crazy
Yeah,
dude in the draft,
awesome.
that's great.
We get Arch Manning, it's over.
Yeah.
But for the foreseeable future, what options we have, I think staying with Justin Fields is fun. And why I wanted to say that is because, again, and I'm going to hammer on this point, because I know it's going to come up in the media in the next couple days, and then we'll once again be the first to talk about it, is his injury that bad? Is Russell Wilson actually that injured, or is it the Steelers being polite and being like, oh no, he's hurt, he's hurt. Oh well, we want him to be full health to be really Russ, and then by the time he's dangerous, we're gonna be like, well,
we already
Justin's
have a whole game plan.
Yeah, Justin's already won 6 games in a row, so we can't just bench him. We got to go with the guy. Because that's what I think is going on.
It does feel that way.
I think that's what's going on.
How bad do you screw up your calf pushing the sled? I mean, I get it, but come on, man.
Especially as a quarterback.
As the quarterback.
Yeah.
And this was this was a
so
while ago. This was months ago.
Going back to the draft with Fields and Trevor Lawrence coming out and everything.
Yeah.
Tomlin, if he had the opportunity, would have drafted Justin Fields.
I'm sure he would have.
So, what does that say?
He you
can already.
Justin Fields is his guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can tell that he's his guy. He loves him.
This is actually documented.
And Pickens looks great with him.
They
got that connection from playing around in Georgia for a while. They played in Georgia as kids together.
Seb, you're not confident? Not confident. So
not confident. Justin Fields.
Seb, let me ask you then, who would you rather see starting? Because I mean, Russell Wilson's, I guess in the past shown a lot, but his preseason looked really not good.
Didn't look great.
I appreciate your comment, dude. We'll wait for you to get back to us. But what do you think should be the plan for the Pittsburgh Steelers? We'd love to hear what you have to say. But yeah, I think
he says Kyle Allen.
He might be your best friend. No, but I think that's.
Oh, we got one of those guys in the chat now.
Hey, more power to him. Hey, Kyle Allen, he's serviceable.
He's serviceable.
Yeah, I don't know. My pick is him. I take him.
I'm
I think we're all in agreement.
You just gotta roll the hot hand right now.
You gotta roll with it.
I don't know if I'd call it really that hot of a hand, but I would go with him.
You're winning games.
So, he's doing one thing Tomlin absolutely loved. He is taking care of the football. He's not turning it over.
Yeah, he's not.
Big point in Pittsburgh football, and we are accustomed to it. Everyone else kind of makes fun of us because they're like, man, that football is so boring. We don't mind if it takes 14 plays to get down the field and get a touchdown. That's okay with me. As long as
we want more than one.
We want more than one touchdown.
More than one.
But we're okay with that, But anyways, I think Justin Fields probably will be the starter moving forward. I think that there is a gimmick going on within the Pittsburgh organization that Russell Wilson is way more hurt than he actually is.
You knocked over Superman.
Not Superman!
Oh, worst character.
I did want to get into the...
What, you like Superman, seriously?
It's just a prop that we had.
Guys, let us know. Should we put duct tape over his mouth or no? Anyways.
I can just leave the show. Just do that.
I wanted to get into the picks.
That's 2 weeks
for this week. For what we thought. If you guys out there, if you're betting, if you're somebody who likes to throw a little money down on some games, where should you have your eyes at this week? In addition to that, in a couple seconds here, guys, get ready for it because we're going to go over who's going to win. And I've got some stats for you from last week on who is currently winning, and you're going to be surprised.
Panthers play the Raiders.
That's
going to be
I think that's going to be a good game. What's the spread for me?
5.5 Panthers.
5.5 Panthers. I would give the Panthers 5.5 in that game, I would believe. I think J.C. Horn and Collective can cover Devontae Adams.
Would you take them straight up?
No. I would not take them straight up. No.
215 straight up.
Well, wait. What I wanted to ask, do you have anything?
I don't really yet. I was looking earlier in the week. I liked the Saints I like the Saints over the Eagles. I don't think it's they're now the favorites. The Saints are now the favorites. They were not the favorites when I looked before the Eagles game last night.
Chad, how do you feel about that? Saints being the
I was going to
favorites.
say, Saints is the underdog. That'd be great. Huh?
It's in New Orleans?
It's in New Orleans.
Yeah, I can see why they would be the favorites.
Did you watch that Cowboys game?
Yeah.
They thrashed it.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles didn't look too great against the Falcons, so I mean, Saints being the favorite makes a lot of sense to me. Like,
What I got a good one for you guys. I think that I am going to take the Cardinals this week over the Detroit Lions.
That is
I
risky.
mean-
I think
That is risky. That is risky.
And the Cardinals only
You know what,
plus
one-
the
124.
Cardinals look good.
The Cardinals do look
on
good.
Sunday.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Did we get him on the wall this week?
Off.
Did we?
We didn't get him on the wall this week, or his dad.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison
we
Senior.
did
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Senior.
He went off this week. He officially looks like he was
Yeah.
supposed to be drafted in the
Junior.
first round.
Yeah.
This week.
He
He
was.
did look good. I saw his highlights.
He
Fire.
looked great. Kyler Murray looks like he's fully back. Betting wise, guys, it's kind of early in the
It
week.
is early in the week.
There's
Hard to-
still a lot going on with the injury report to really dive too deep into it. The Steelers play Wash.
No.
No.
Play the
Steelers-
Chargers.
they play the Chargers.
Steelers play the Chargers at
At
home.
home.
Two undefeated teams.
I think the Steelers take that one. You can mark that one down. I think that you can also, in that game, take Jalen Warren over 40 yards for total receiving and rushing together. I think that would be a good pick. Something else that you could probably take in that game would be Freiermuth to have over 3.5.
I'm rolling with it.
That's something that we've been going with a lot, and he's been hitting it every.
Fryer
single
move
time.
tight.
Yeah.
Not Freiermuth
That
Tutty.
wouldn't be
3.5, 3.5 receptions. I think you could put that and mark that down as a check plus. It's gonna happen.
Giants plus 250 or plus 6.5 over the Browns.
I think
Browns are kind of shitty.
I think that the Browns take that game.
Maybe.
I
By
think the
6.5?
Giants. I think the Giants have a good defense, sorta.
They got neighbors. They got Singletary.
Oh my god.
That's two great players.
You can't win with this guy. We should have left him in Denver.
Yeah, you should have stayed out there.
But yeah, other games that I see that are going to be crazy this week. There are a lot of games that are going to be like, up in the airs. You've got the Colts and the Bears. Colts and Bears is a wild game. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals you could plug as an easy win over Washington. I would probably take a bet on. Let me see here. What would I take on that? I would probably.
Titans, Packers.
I know exactly what I would take on that, guys. I think you should look at something that's going to be a really big plus. I think you should take Mike Gesicki for over 24 yards and or over 3.5 receptions. Mike Gesicki is going to be a come-up player for the Bengals. I think that's something that you can look forward to in maybe fantasy as well if you're having some trouble at tight end. But yeah, maybe give that a try. I'm going to plug that in for a combination. I'll probably do an over of some sort that's really low, maybe like a 40. Then I'll take Cincinnati and then Gesicki.
You
as
like
well.
Cincinnati over the Commanders?
Yeah, on
You
Monday
like,
night?
You like them by more than 7.5?
I like them.
Because I kind of think I like the Commanders at 7.5.
No, I would take moneyline Bengals.
I would do that.
Yeah, moneyline Bengals.
What's Vikings Texans?
Oh, Vikings Texans is another good one,
That's
guys.
gotta be interesting,
Every
yeah.
game this week is kind of a matchup of teams that are equal.
Yeah,
you know what
they
I
are.
mean? They're like of equal rank. They're you know.
That might be the game of the week.
That could be
Where is
Detroit and Arizona could be the game of the week. You what else do we have? The LA Rams play 49ers, but I mean LA's so torn up that what could they really
2.5. The Texans is the
Cowboys and Baltimore is another good one. I think
That's going to be another good game.
I
Yes, it
think
is.
you could take the Ravens in that game. I think the Ravens beat the Cowboys. Any of you Weedham boys out there, please call Derek Carr's hotline at 1-800-I-DESTROYED you.
I will say though, I do like that Texans Vikings game, but the Cardinals Lions matchup, that looks like that might go back and forth. Like that actually might be.
Both defenses can be
Yeah.
very leaky.
Yep.
Both offenses have very big star power
Yeah.
when it comes to. I mean, you give James Conner fantasy football star power.
You get
He
Kyler Murray
is.
fans, but
Yeah, he
also
is.
He's consistent. He's always getting his yards
He's your
or
7 to 10
touchdown.
guy a week at least.
Yeah, you could set James Conner in every week and never really worry about it unless boom, 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 something happens to his knee.
Yeah.
Let's go right on in to my favorite part, my new favorite part of the show, which is where we pick the games for the week officially and we keep tally. Jordan, would you mind going down the list for me and being the announcer?
Where are my notes?
I have the game.
You got them up? Go ahead.
All right, Thursday night, we got Patriots and Jets.
Patriots and Jets. I got this as a close game. Jets.
Jets?
Jets, but close game. Patriots always keep it close to them.
Yeah, I'm going to say
I
the
guess I
same
would see
thing.
that. I would say 17-14 Jets.
17-14 Jets,
I'll
low
go to
scoring
I'll go
game.
to low scoring game, yeah.
All right, I will keep track, guys. I want to let you know that as of this week, we're going to add Lou in at the same score as the two bottom lowest scores because we're tied. But right now, Jordan is the winner of Week 2's Pick'em. He won by taking Minnesota over San Francisco, and Ben and I thrashed him for it. So, shout out Jordan Kuruc, even though he did
this
tell you
guy,
to not play
right?
Calvin Ridley, he did tell you to take the Vikings, and they did win. All right, so I said Jets, you said Jets, close game. Jets or Patriots?
Oh, Jets.
Jets.
You know what?
You gonna go the opposite?
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go
Okay.
Patriots. Patriots steal.
All right, I'm marking it down. Yaconis is going for the Patriots. Chat, let us know if you're in here. Let us know who you pick in these games. Next game for us, Ben.
Giants at the Browns.
Giants at the Browns. I think I've already mentioned it. I'm taking the Browns. I think it's going to be a very, very, very not close game.
I'm taking the Giants. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Giants win like 2016 or some shit.
Tie.
Hi!
wow.
That's official. I'm taking it.
No, I'll go Browns.
Kuruc is with the Browns. And what are you saying there, Benjamin?
I'm going to take the Giants. I think Malik Neighbors
He's
has another
right.
big game.
Wow, we're 50-50. It's getting crazy in the weekly matchups. All right, next one for me, Ben.
Bears at Colts.
Bears at Colts. I think that the Bears defense really shuts down the Colts offense that only really has two players doing anything. I think the Bears win their first game of the year.
I think I agree with you.
Yeah? Wow! So anticlimactic. That's the quietest you'll ever see it.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Bears won week 1, by the way.
Oh, did they?
They won.
They
They beat the
They
Titans.
beat Titans.
Oh, that's right. It's
Wasn't
an
pretty.
all defense game.
Yeah,
That's
all
right.
defense.
That's
All
right.
defense.
Yeah, well, okay, the Bears is who I'm taking.
I'm gonna go with Colts. I think Anthony Richardson might have a solid game, and he'll dictate the whole game. If that guy goes off, the Chicago's not stopping him because he has enough weapons.
Okay, so you're taking the
I'm
Colts.
taking the Colts.
He also has Anthony Richardson on his fantasy team, guys.
Yeah.
This is a bias.
Yeah, you can tell the bias.
So,
Isn't that what this podcast is about?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Guy.
Guys, if you're in here, remember, let us know. Let us know your picks as we're going along. We'll definitely talk along with you. Seb, if you're still here, we want to know. Why are you not confident in Justin Fields?
so I'm going to go Bears.
Bears?
I'm going to go Bears.
Okay, so
I
curious.
think it's going to be a tale of the turnover battle, and I think Caleb Williams is going to commit less turnovers than Anthony Richardson.
I agree. That's exactly why I think it's going to go that way.
So,
Next game.
Texans at Vikings.
Texans. Ooh.
Man, this is tough.
This is a toughie.
Ooh, it gets harder.
This is a toughie.
Let's start with Kuruc since he's our residential Vikings expert.
Texans Vikings. Depending on Justin Jefferson's health, first of all, but where's it at? Is it at
Vikings
Vikings?
in Minnesota.
All right, so we got one for the Vikings from our expert. Very anticlimactic, but that's okay. What do you got there,
I'm
Louie?
taking the Vikings too.
Vikings?
I'm taking the Vikings too.
Okay, you think Sammy D's got it?
I kind of think he's on the tear.
Aaron Jones has been good for them as
Yeah.
well.
Aaron Jones has been very
That
good.
And,
Naylor
I
fella?
don't think Jefferson's going to be that hurt. I
The
think he'll
defense-
play.
No, he said he's already going to
Yeah, I
play.
think
The
he's gonna
defense
play.
is playing solid enough. I mean,
Defense is playing above and beyond.
Yeah.
I am going to take. I'm going to take the Titans or the Texans. Dang it! I'm taking the Texans. I think C.J. Stroud's going to show the Vikings what it's like to play against a team that has all their players playing.
Yes.
Now there is a chance
Mixon
doesn't play,
Yeah.
but guess what? They do have another running back who is serviceable in Cam Akers to fill in that void. Is he great? Is he as good as Mixon? No, but he can hold down the fort. I'm taking the Texans.
Damian Pierce is good.
I'm also taking the Texans.
All right, dude.
All right,
Who are you taking? Who did you say?
Vikings.
Vikings. All right, so
Oh, it's
Vikings in the back and the Texans in the front. Ben, who we got next?
We got the Eagles at the Saints.
Eagles and Saints. We know that the Saints are expected to win in Vegas.
Only 2.5 though. They're only a 2.5 favorite.
You know, I think that the Eagles
And they are hot.
are going to have such a bad taste in their mouth from last week
I mean, I think the
that I think that even without A.J. Brown, they are going to come out and play the hardest that we've seen them play in a while. So I'm going to take the Eagles.
Same reason.
I think that Jalen Hurts is going to control the game.
I agree.
He did last night.
I'm full about that.
He controlled the game last night
Yeah.
very well. The Barkley drop really is what kind of screwed
killed
the whole
him.
thing. Everything else was really good.
You could argue the coaching killed them.
It-
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean,
he
I
didn't
think
really do anything wrong.
everybody
Yeah,
in Philadelphia
it's
is
the
arguing
coaching.
that. Real quick pause, time out, and look at our really cool lava lamp. All right, thank you for doing that. Kuruc, who are you going to take this week?
Saints, dude.
You're taking the Saints?
I think that Saints defense up front has got to eat Saquon up a little bit. And then I watched how that Eagles secondary was. And if you look at the Saints, they got some burners out there, dude. Like
They sure do.
CJ Gardner-Johnson?
No, Saints?
No, that plays for the
He's on the
Eagles.
Eagles.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's got to get...
The Eagles.
They're got to torch him.
You
Look,
think
he's gotta get torched.
Shaheed says, "Fire!"
First play of the game, ball right down the middle.
Shaheed has been very
He's
good.
been great.
Very good. Great late
I
round
don't know
pick.
if that's gonna happen, but I'm just saying I like how the Saints are playing right now, and if they they have been on fire. And
They have a good
they're-
defense too. Their
Yeah.
offense is producing. I can
It's-
understand why you're taking them.
It's crazy though because like they didn't really retool or anything or like bring in anybody big. They just kind of stuck with their core and just just like figured out their chemistry.
figured it
And
out.
it's paying dividends for them right now. Like it's
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So-
Well, who are you taking?
I'm gonna go Saints as well.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm gonna go Saints as well. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna make a mistake again, like he did Monday night.
I don't know that was his mistake.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like you're really putting blame on him.
He gets credited for the interception, so
He
Yeah.
he's
threw a
captain
late
of the
pick,
team. The ball
you
went
know.
right through freaking Saquon's
Yeah,
hand.
He did drop the ball.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
he should have never been in that situation.
I get where you're coming
But
from.
you know,
He's taking the Saints.
I'm not a big
It's
believer in
you,
Jalen
your
Hurts.
buddy.
So-
You don't see me and Lou agreeing very often.
So next game.
All right, let me know.
Next game.
We
Our
did this.
Steelers
Okay.
are facing the Chargers in Pittsburgh.
Chargers like to upset us. They do. They do.
We're
like
both
to
undefeated.
upset
Let's
us.
say
We're
that again
both
at the same
undefeated.
time.
They
do.
Steelers versus Chargers.
Come on, guys. What the fuck? It's Steelers.
I'm going with the Steelers. You're right.
What do you mean?
This is a 100% a non-biased podcast. Like it's
This podcast isn't biased, but if your name's Justin Herbert, don't show up in our city.
Yeah, get out of here, Justin Herbert.
Absolutely. Okay, so collective Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah,
Come on, here we go.
I'm gonna
Close game though.
Steelers.
I'm gonna
I
put
do
this
think
out
it'll be
there.
close.
Under 36 points.
I agree with that.
I agree
It'll
with
be
that.
it'll be low scoring.
So yeah,
And here we
it's
go.
gonna be
Like
the same
field goals,
thing,
but-
low scoring.
Yeah.
So I think both defenses are going to contain either
Most
offense.
of the
Agreed.
offense. Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways, next game is Broncos at Buccaneers.
I think that the Buccaneers absolutely destroy.
Yeah,
Torch 'em.
I think we can all agree.
Torch 'em.
Bucks are going to roll.
yeah.
All right,
Absolutely.
So Bucks are
Broncos
going
look
to
like
roll in
crap.
that one.
I think that I think the Broncos are just as bad as the Panthers, and no one's talking about it.
So,
It's
What?
close. They have a little bit nicer defense. But it's close.
John and Jax, you were a part of Mean Joe Green's hometown junior high school football team? Football field? What?
No way!
anyways,
Oh, that's really cool, dude.
Anyways, fun brother.
Nice.
sorry, nice.
That's dope.
Score, yeah.
Yeah. So next game is Packers at the Titans.
Packers at the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's
Ooh, Matt LaFleur's ex-team.
Packers at the Titans.
Matt LaFleur revenge.
I'm gonna take.
Malik Lewis going back to Nashville.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Titans.
I'm taking the Titans too. Teddy Pollard's look pretty alright.
Tony Pollard looked pretty alright. Levis's looks pretty not that great.
Did you see that play he had where he's like falling on the ground? He's like throws it backwards, and their coach is running up the sideline. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What the F are you doing?"
Yeah. Will Levis hasn't been playing great. The more and more the season goes on, I feel like there is a small chance that we might see Mason Rudolph. I don't know. Don't quote me yet on that, but it's getting closer and closer to.
Jesus, this is a sin.
Yeah, they're not producing anything on offense. They're
I'm taking
not.
a week.
No,
Like,
no,
holy
no.
crap.
What's your pick?
I'm gonna go Packers. I hate them
Packers.
so much, but like for some reason they're like, you suck at QB, but you play for the Packers now, so now you're good at QB, and just follow us, kid. We got you. And then I'm going Packers.
I'm gonna go Packers as well. I think they ran the ball
They're real
well
sympathetic
with
today.
Jacobs last week. I think they do it again.
They control the clock.
Back?
Yeah,
You
I
think they
think-
run it?
yeah.
Okay.
Packers do it again.
John, they retired number 75 in his hometown of Temple, Texas.
No shit.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Nice.
Man. That's
Cool, dude. We don't really have anybody famous from our high school. Scott McKillop, maybe if you've
That's
ever heard of
the-
him from Pitt. That's it. That's all we got.
That's it.
And
I
you
mean,
have,
Adam, people, Pitt fans know Adam Gunn.
Oh, and Adam
So,
Gunn was a safety
as
as
well.
well for.
I mean,
Because McKillop and Gunn played
Yeah.
Simultaneously.
same year,
I mean,
simultaneously.
not a player, but I mean, Joe Woods is a coach in the
Oh, yeah,
NFL, and
Joe
he's-
Woods, a
he's
defensive
from North-
coordinator. He's
Yeah.
from our hometown as well.
He is.
Okay, so
Good call.
you
Good
took the
call.
Packers as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Who
Packers.
did you have as the next
Saints.
one?
So the next game is Panthers at the Raiders.
Panthers at the Raiders. We already said kind
Yeah,
of collectively
we're
we
all
think this might be the
Raiders.
game. No,
I'm going Raiders. though.
absolutely not. I think it's the
I'm
game the
going
Panthers
Raiders.
win.
I'm going Raiders.
You're going
I'm
Raiders?
going Raiders.
Raiders.
I'm going Raiders.
Let me drive, dude. After a hot take, I'm taking the Panthers.
We spent way too much time on the Panthers earlier. They are
Dog.
dog.
Hey,
I'm with you, man.
They are so crap. It's ridiculous.
We're
I
gonna
hope-
I'll
I-
pull up
Raiders.
pull up the numbers. and
so
I'll
collectively,
talk
I
about it.
think everyone here, you're going Panthers?
No, I'm going Raiders.
All these guys are going Panthers. This needs to be clipped. My name's Ben, and I am picking the Panthers to beat the Raiders this week.
Oh,
Come see us next week when I'm right.
No, because you're wrong.
Alrighty, let's
It's gonna be the
go.
Bob Bowers show. You won. Anyways, Dolphins and Seahawks.
Dolphins, Seahawks. I think the
At
Seahawks.
Seattle.
Seahawks.
No, man, and the Skylar Thompson led Dolphins.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I
I
don't-
may think. Oh man.
I didn't see anything out of Skylar Thompson, who knows the
And
offense.
Kenneth Walker's hurt, ain't he?
Kenneth Walker's
Yeah,
hurt.
but
Charbonnet's been
Charbonnet's
playing
yeah,
well.
Zach Charbonnet. Like,
The best players on
Man.
the Dolphins team rely on a field general to throw the
Yeah,
ball,
I know, yeah.
and they don't have one, which is why I'm taking the Seahawks. And they're in Seattle,
And
which
they're
is
in
one of the
Seattle,
hardest
yeah.
places to play.
that's a tough place.
They win a lot at home.
Yeah.
Is anyone taking Miami? He's a big Miami
I
fan.
do like Miami. I think I'm taking. Oh man. Oh man.
We gotta know.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll take the Dolphins.
All
I'll
right,
be the contrarian.
all right.
I'll do it. I'll
He's
do
taking
it.
the Dolphins.
That's some
Seahawks,
Wilbur-ish
too.
energy for me.
I'm going Seahawks.
Okay.
I'm going Seahawks.
All right, next one. Good one. Lions at Arizona.
Oh, we said this already. Man, I'm taking a lot of hot takes this week. Oh boy, I'm gonna go Arizona Cardinals. All the crappy teams are winning this week, guys. Who you taking, Lewis?
Taking the Lions. They're gonna bounce back. They lost to Tampa Bay. I was gonna say they got throttled. They didn't really get throttled, but I think they'll come back. They want to win.
Okay.
Lesser Eagles energy. They're gonna play hard.
Okay, yeah, sure. What are you saying, Kurt?
I'm about to take Lions.
Taking the Lions. Okay, what about you
So,
over there?
I'm going to join you, Ben. I'm going to take the Colts.
Nice.
I'm gonna
That's
take
what
the
I'm
Colts.
talking about.
So
Let's go
no
Cards.
I think that connection with Harrison Jr. stays hot.
Yeah, man.
I think they win.
Run it hard with James Conner.
So-
Scramble a lot, and let's throw the ball at Harrison Jr.
All right, next one. Ravens at Cowboys. Another big one.
Ravens and Cowboys, another battle of good teams. I think Ravens come out victor. I think their defense holds it down. We've seen holes in the Cowboys' defense. I don't think the Cowboys will be like the Eagles, who have a resurgence of pride. I think the Cowboys will be defeated.
Ravens are all losses right now.
All
I
losses.
think Ravens. I have the same energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Ravens.
Are we all going Ravens?
John and Jax, make fun of us in chat.
We're all going Ravens on this one.
We're all going Ravens.
Dude, that's
Cowboys
how
have
the-
shown.
Dude,
Yeah, and I don't
that's
think
the
we're
two
from
worst picks of
Pittsburgh.
all time.
Cowboys.
Cowboys and Ravens. I'm like, tie.
Who's next?
Niners and Rams.
Niners and Rams, both teams pretty damaged. I think the Niners have more talent on their team. The Niners win the game.
I agree with you.
Niners?
Yeah, basically as simple as
Yeah.
that. Yeah, Niners.
I'll go Rams.
He's going Rams. We got one for the Rams. I'm going Niners as well.
Too much
Just-
talent around. Though,
Just
I
because.
agree.
We'll see what McVay. We'll see what McVay can do.
But I'm going.
It might be
I'm going
one of those
Niners.
games though. You know what I mean?
It could be Kuruc, and we're going to put your name down for the Rams. And
Yeah.
So next week, when the Rams win, and everyone's like, once
Yeah.
again, Kuric's in the lead, and I'm gonna be like, well,
yeah. Who else we got?
Let's see. Oh, Chiefs and Falcons. Sunday
Chiefs
night.
and
Don't
Falcons.
take my hot take. I'm taking the Falcons. I think their defense looked pretty
I'm gonna go
stats.
I'll go last on
They,
this one.
they held the Steelers to all field goals, and they just beat the Eagles. I think the Falcons are going to give the Chiefs a run for their money and upset. Let's go.
where's the game at?
In Atlanta.
Fly, Falcons fly.
I don't know. Dirty Bird. I don't know what the Falcons say. Go Dirty Birds.
Yeah, it's 30 birds.
Dirty bird.
I'll go Falcons too.
We got 2 for the Falcons over the championship.
Yeah, no, I'm
Back half of the table.
I'm taking the defending Super Bowl champs in this one. Chiefs win.
Okay. All right. I am also going to go to the Chiefs. I will give kudos to the Falcons defense for playing immaculate last
They did
night.
play good.
They have great edge rushing going on. They were
Good-
getting after
Their
the quarterback.
safeties are amazing.
Their
defense
safeties
looks
are
solid.
amazing. Their safeties are amazing. They have decent corners. I still don't think that they win.
Right? So we got 2 Monday night games this week.
Oh.
Yeah, right? 2 games Monday night.
Who is it?
The first one, Jags at Buffalo, playing the Bills.
Jags at Buffalo. Gabe Davis goes back.
Dave Davis goes back and does nothing in Buffalo.
He's been getting a lot more targets and been a little bit more
Yeah,
consistent
but
this time in
yeah,
Buffalo.
yeah.
But it's only been 2 games. I think that Buffalo easily takes this game. I don't
Who's the
think.
better team?
Who's the better
I
team?
think they're the better team.
Oh, they
I
are
think
the
they're
better
clearly
team.
the better team.
Yeah,
I think
no.
Buffalo takes it.
Yeah, I think they are the better team. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
What
might
are you
go
saying?
Bills as well.
You're going Bills?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Bills too.
I think Josh
I
Allen.
was gonna be the only one here who went the other way, but I just don't like the Jaguars.
No.
After you heard that Falcons take, you're like, no, I'm staying safe. Like,
I just don't like the Jaguars this year. I just don't like Trevor Lawrence either.
I just don't think that they have enough. They're not meshed well together enough. They have too many new players playing. It doesn't seem like Christian Kirk is even involved in that offense anymore.
Yeah,
He's
he's
the main
non-existent.
person. They're not driving the ball. It just doesn't seem good for the Jaguars. So I'm not going to pick them until I see them really beat a team.
Yep. And the last one is the Washington Commanders in Cincinnati playing the Bengals.
Well, I already said this one. I think you should take Mike Gesicki for over 3.5 receptions.
That shit on, Jamie.
This is why we have a nice manager in the back. Thank you so much, Paul, for letting us know. We apologize, guys. Apparently, TikTok ended our live for a second. We don't know why, but we're back. We were just breaking down the final game for Monday Night Football this week. Who are we on?
Commanders Bengals.
Commanders and Bengals. I said Mike Gesicki, 3.5 catches. Should be a bet you take, and take the Cincinnati Bengals. Lou wants to go last. Go ahead, Ben. What do you got to say?
Man. I don't like this game at all, to be honest, but I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Bengals?
Commanders.
So.
You want the Commanders?
I'm taking the Commanders. Banged
All
up
right.
T. Higgins. Jim Daniels look pretty solid.
Taking the Bengals.
And I also hate the Bengals.
I think
It's
Austin.
like a little
I think
bit
Austin
like-
Eckler might have a pretty good game. So look out for that.
He's made it.
Austin Eckler has been having a good resurgence of his career. It looks like he has a good fit with Jaden Daniels down there
Yep.
in that offense. It looks
Jaden
like,
Daniels have all the rookie QBs so far. It looks the best. He doesn't look amazing, but he looks like he's not too far behind.
Yeah.
right?
He's
No,
not there yet.
it's
But,
kind of just
like,
like last
You
year.
can tell.
You can tell
You
it's
can
coming.
tell though. He can.
Mhm.
He's starting to get his feet in the door and
Yeah.
stuff. And like,
It's kind of just like last year where we seen the number 1 pick struggle and the number 2 pick do very well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. But I think Joe Brown and Jamar Chase get on the same page.
I think they finally do. They start connecting. They start doing something. Did you guys want to cover anything else for the week before we sign off and let everybody go? Hey guys, I just want to let you know. Make sure to follow us here on our TikTok page so that you're ready for our lives every week and get the announcement for when we're going to be on. Remember, that's every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can check us out on Facebook at the Wombo Combo Show. You can also find us on Twitter. We are on Twitter at the Wombo Combo SH. Follow us on both of those. That's where we're posting constantly, letting you know injury updates. We're letting you know what the coaches are saying. We're talking to you live during games too as well with tweets and different comments. So make sure you're following us on those. We love to talk to you, get some feedback from you, hear what you guys are thinking about the show.
Thanks for watching.
Absolutely, guys.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
That.
We're not
just
going
four
anywhere.
guys.
Yeah.
We're going to be coming back every week.
Swear to God.
We're just 4 guys.
Yeah. Every week we are going to be back. We are going to keep this up. We hope you guys are enjoying it. We're going to get better as it goes too. Each week we're getting something new and adding it to the podcast. We're going to get our topics on top of things too, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So we're glad that at least some of
Just
you are
like
here now.
Jaden Daniels, we're getting our legs.
Yeah, right. So drop us a follow, like I said. Hit a like on this so that we can get a little bump and broadcast to more people. We'd really appreciate it from you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Make sure that you're in your waiver wire picking up those people that we were talking about because there's a lot of injuries. And we will see you guys next week, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Peace.
I was over here just watching.
Peace.
I'm just